So I'm driving along down this mountain road, and I make a wrong turn to this parking lot, and all of a sudden, bam, out of nowhere, this cop shows up and starts, pulls me over and starts asking me all these questions, and then gives me this paper to fill out, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to answer any of your questions. And then, bam, I woke up. I was dreaming. And it was New Year's morning. And here I am. So, once again, it seems like the dream police are messing with me, These bad things are coming into my dreams and causing me problems. I think is what this is about, nightmares in general. But so I get up, go make some coffee, and turn on my YouTube page, and this video pops up. This guy on my recommendation, his name's Rich 2150X, and he's got this video called How to Escape the Matrix Using Your Vivid Imagination. So I thought, that sounds pretty, looked like a pretty interesting guy, so I started watching it, and he starts explaining how he can start talking to people, and he could just get them to start explaining an imaginary world, start explaining the details, every little detail about this imaginary. Start just with one little detail. So I was like, wow. And what it basically says is you can just from that start, you just keep building on it, detail on this imaginary place, right? And it starts to become real. And he's explaining how he does it, how he talks to people, and he gets them to start explaining it, and then they start to believe it's real. It's really, and so it brings me back to when I was a kid. When I was 5 or 6 years old, I was a big Godzilla fan. I loved Godzilla movies. Whenever a Godzilla movie came on, man, I was fascinated by it, But one night I had a dream, and it was so real. I was in my dream. I walked behind my house, and into the backyard. There's a tree back there, right by the fence, and I walked behind the tree and between the fence and there, and into this little corner of the yard, and bam, I was transported into another world. I was like, whoa. It was beautiful. It was like this tropical jungle island, Monster Island, with volcanoes and the ocean and waterfalls, and just the most beautiful paradise you can imagine. It was sculptured gardens, and I saw Godzilla was there, and I heard him, it was all these monsters, pterodactyls flying around and stuff, and I ran into the one they call Godzuki, which is the son of Godzilla, and so I'm talking to him, and I became friends with him, just like in the movie. He befriends the kid in the movie, and so, and then I hung out there for a while. I had the most awesome dream, and I woke up the next morning. I was like, I didn't realize. I thought it was real. I thought I had really gone to this place. Didn't realize it was a dream, and so I went out into my backyard, into where that tree was, and I thought I could go back through that, go back to that place, but it wasn't really there. It was only a dream. And I remember thinking, oh man, I was confused, because I thought I didn't really realize it was a dream. But yeah, all my life I've had dreams of beautiful places like that, and so lucid, so real, that I never forgot. I mean, that dream that I just explained, it's always stuck out. I've always remembered it. But so it goes back to this guy talking about how you can create your own reality. In this is one reality in this consciousness on this planet. And he calls it the physical reality, right? Well, when you go to sleep, you go into another reality. And you can also, there's other ways to get in and out of these different realities. But anyways, it's kind of cool concept. Like you can, so I thought, I'm going to start building my own universe, like he says, like he suggests. And so I start off, so I start imagining my universe, kind of that place where I ran into Godzuki. So it's like kind of like an island, but then I also imagine an island, a beach on that island where I start off, and there's a beach there. It's like a beach that I know that I went to when I was a kid. It's but it's more beautiful than the real beach that I went to. It's like, this beach is like, almost like a cartoon. It's so beautiful, it's more beautiful than real, it's like ridiculously beautiful, like dolphins swimming out, and there's, on one side there's like a point that goes out a little ways out into the ocean, and then there's like tide pools and stuff, and all kinds of animals there, and lizards on the rocks and stuff. And over on the other side there's like a cliffs that come up off the beach, and it's like maybe a mile or so across the whole beach, and perfect waves come across, and all day long, if you want, you can ride the waves, and there's dolphins out there swimming around, and they're really smart. You can communicate with the dolphins, like, just by thinking, like, and like they're like, there's like people and stuff like that. And on the other side of the beach, where I built my hut, there's like a trail that goes up into the hills, and it's all mountains that come up off the ocean, all around. It's really beautiful, and the mountains just go up and up and up. And they just keep going higher, higher. Like there's like these giant mountains way up high behind the ocean, and it goes way up to the snowy peaks. And I built a big cabin up there. It's like huge. This cabin it's a big, huge log cabin. It's like, all my friends come up there to stay with me. You can get up there. And then I started thinking, is it an island or what is it? Well, maybe it starts off as an island, and then it becomes like a whole planet. There's no technology there either. No technology on the planet. The only technology are ski lifts. There's ski lifts you can take once you get up off the coastline. Take ski lifts up into the mountains. That's the only technology. And there's lift operators at each ski lift. And I was thinking, yeah, well, we can make it more than just an island, And I was thinking, well, it'd be really cool if there was like no language at all either. Well, I don't know, man. That'd be kind of weird, because I mean, as much as I'd like to know what it was like to communicate without any language, I think I would make it like language optional. You can use language or not if you wanted to or not. But hope this wind doesn't ruin this. But also, yeah, I think I would make it a whole planet, but it would be like a growing planet, and you could fly off out into space and look down at it, and you could fly, and then you could just see it as it grew, like there's some land masses and islands and oceans. Maybe it's like the size of Colorado to start off with, but it's round, there's vast open areas and all kinds of animals everywhere, and there's people, and there's there's beautiful gardens everywhere, like of all different kinds, and forests. There's pathways and waterfalls that go all over the place, and really interesting little details all over that are kind of like almost like something at Disneyland, And there's all gardens and statues and food, people, people all over preparing food, and just wherever you go, there's just tables set up with food and people eating and having a good time, and you don't need money. What an idea, huh? I can already see it, man. I've already got my world started. And pretty much any kind of any animal you can imagine is there. There could even be real animals, there could be fantasy animals. I think I have a whole tribe of dogmen that are like my friends, but they look like my dog. They have like a head like my dog, but they stand, and they have tails, but they walk like men. And they're really cool. Yeah. Yeah, those guys live on my planet too. And there's like all kinds of, you can fly around if you want, or you can ride around on one of those dragon things like on Avatar. And there's like cliffs and things like that, like on Avatar. And you can fly around, and you could fly up to my cabin way up in the mountains, or hang out at my hut down on the beach. Man, what a world, man. I still haven't come up with a name for it yet. It's really, it looks just like Earth, but it's got all kinds of little treasures and like islands that are like, like little resort islands with waterfalls and swimming pools and natural water slides and all kinds of animals and birds and monkeys in the trees and stuff. And they're like really like magical monkeys that can talk and stuff, where you can communicate with all the animals. And there's no cops. Oh, it's just so much fun, man. I love it. I could go on for hours and hours just talking about my world. Yeah, and if you want, you can surf anywhere. Like, you can surf across the ocean from one island to another. Just if you want, the wave will just pop up and ride you there. You can fly up on the top of a mountain and snowboard down anytime you want. Or ski, or whatever you want to do, man. And the idea is, once you start creating this world, and then when you put it out there into the, the idea is that consciousness creates reality. And so, by putting so much detail and believing so much into this world, when you create it in another dimension, really, in the multiverse, or the holographic universe, you're manifesting this reality, and it's the way universes are created. Is the idea, and if you believe in it long enough, and you keep adding details, and then like when you go into your other existence in meditation or sleep, you can actually go into this world and experience a whole existence there. Yeah, and the dogmen, they like to hunt and kill wild pigs, but they like to take them down to the beach and have big pig roasts, and everybody comes and has a big party and feasts and surfs the waves. And the dogmen laugh. They laugh like hyenas, kind of, but they love to laugh. You tell them a joke and they just laugh out of control. And they really like humans. That's like a real dog. Cool.